Hey guys, welcome back to the channel here on Overdrive Reviews. Thanks for joining us yet again. I'm Alex for you today, checking out this 2021 BMW 430i xDrive Coupe. The 4 Series has been totally redesigned for 2021, identical almost mechanically to the 3 Series. Of course, it's got 2 less doors. On the inside as well, it looks very similar to the 3 Series layout, but what's not the same? These front kidney grilles, they are vertical now instead of horizontal, and they are the talk of the town among BMW enthusiasts, BMW drivers, and fans of these cars. Let us know in the comments below what you think about these kidney grilles. I'll mention them later in the video as well. But as I said, the 4 Series for the 2021 model year totally redesigned, a wider track, a lower center of gravity, total new sheet design on the outside as well. Really a beautiful car if you ask me. Those grilles up front, again, a little bit iffy for some folks, but not so much with me. The 430i base coupe starts around $46,000 and ranges all the way up if you get the M440i xDrive convertible. That starts around $67,000. So a large swath of price range here, depending on what 4 Series you get. But today we'll give you a tour of the outside of this thing, talk about all the new sheet metal, all the new options on the outside, get you inside where the interior is. Before we get going though, subscribe to the channel here, hit that like button, and please hit that bell as well to let you know whenever a new video is uploaded here on Overdrive Reviews. But I think without further ado, it is time to get moving. Before we go though, a big shout out to Apple BMW in York, Pennsylvania for lending us this gorgeous 4 Series for the day. Check out their website below. Tons of inventory, lots of cars to choose from. Thanks so much to Apple BMW for lending us this gorgeous car for the day. So let's get the elephant out of the room and addressed, shall we? These large kidney grilles in the front, right? They are vertical now instead of horizontal. A lot of talk about how ugly and atrocious these things are, but as I said moments ago, I don't mind what they look like. I really don't mind it at all. They also serve a practical purpose, as many grills on cars these days. They are active grills, so they have shutters on them that open and close depending on how hot or how cold the engine is and the needs of the car itself as it's moving. There's also parking sensors integrated into the front of this grill. You can see them right there. There's also active guard, which features frontal collision warning. Another safety feature on this, automatic high beams on this 430i xDrive Coupe, along with cornering LED headlights. Great at night whenever you're going around a turn. These will turn with you to make sure the road is illuminated and lit up so you can see as much as possible. There's lots of little ducts as well, little pass-throughs for air to increase aerodynamics and fuel efficiency and, lessen the drag on this. There's one on either side of the car, right underneath the headlights. But I really think BMW blends luxury and performance and affordability perfectly with this car. I think in the past, this kind of performance was not attainable at this price point. So if you've seen my other videos, you know how much I love wheels and rims on a car, right? This 430i xDrive Coupe has these beautiful gunmetal 19-inch rims with all-season run-flat tires on them. It does have dynamic stability control, dynamic traction control. There's 4-wheel ventilated disc brakes with anti-lock braking system, the ABS all around, cornering brake control, CBC is what BMW calls it. Lots of options to keep this car planted and on the ground. I love the way they look, and also easy to clean because look, there's not tons of little notches and holes to get into. A really nice job, I think, by BMW with these 19-inch wheels here. And I'm sure I'm going to take some flack for this, but I kind of love the side profile of this thing. It reminds me of a miniature M8, all right? Now hear me out. Obviously not nearly as powerful, not nearly as sporty, and not nearly as expensive, but it kind of has that side profile like an M8 would. A long kind of hood, really kind of quick, curvy, bubbly sort of rear. These nice fender flares right here aren't too aggressive or overstated. I think the kidney grills take all the overstatement on themselves. Now, this particular 430i xDrive Coupe comes with a 4-cylinder turbo engine that pumps out about 255 horsepower. If you opt for the more expensive M440i, either the coupe or the convertible, that comes with a 382 horsepower inline 6-cylinder. So a lot more horsepower, but again, about a $15,000 to $20,000 difference between the two options. Now on this 430i, the 0 to 60 sprint time is about 5 seconds, 5.2 I believe, which isn't horrible considering what it is. Now if you opt for the upgraded, more powerful, faster M440, that 0 to 60 sprint time decreases to about 3.8 seconds. It's just insane. about 4 seconds or so in the M440 version of the 4 Series. That also has about 364 pound-feet of torque. And also, by the way, the M440, no matter which one you get, the coupe or the convertible, comes with standard xDrive on both of them. So at the back of the 430i Coupe, I gotta say, I like this much more than the front of this car. I like the front, it's okay. A little controversial and crazy. I like it overall, but the rear of this, I really think is really strong for 2021. You got these dual exhausts here, the integrated parking sensors, this large BMW emblem, which looks larger than ever to me. It's got actually a really nice kind of integrated, almost invisible rear backup camera right here at the bottom. You can almost not see it if you aren't looking for it, right? xDrive, obviously, for the all-wheel drive system, the large 430i emblem and lettering and numbers over there. I also love what I'm calling the reverse cat eye kind of look on these rear taillights, right? So think about a woman, you've seen those large makeup outlines with thin lines up to their temples, right? This is kind of the reverse of that. Large, thick on the outside around the sides of the 430i, and they get thinner towards the center of the trunk here on the back of the car. I love that. I think it actually looks really, really aggressive, and it really draws your attention to the center of the car. There are some air vents on the side as well. Air vents in quotes because they are not real, they are fake. They're just little plastic inserts, but at the end of the day, the front of the car does have actual air vents and pass-throughs, so who really cares if these air vents aren't real? So here in the trunk, it's actually got about 12 cubic feet of space, storage space, luggage space, and all of the 4 Series, no matter what configuration or trim level you get. You also have little levers on either side right there to pull the rear seats down. Lots of little storage cubbies and little holes that go pretty deep. I mean, look how deep that goes. My hand's down pretty far on either side. There's one over there as well, little nets to keep things in place. Really nice kind of just covered up, nice hard liners in the back of this, which is great because sometimes you don't want all that exposed wiring and stuff, and of course BMW has attention to detail on that. So about 12 cubic feet of space in the back of these 4 Series for 2021. I want to point out one more attention to detail that I love. I'm a details guy, right? Look at this rear windshield. It goes right up until the little trough where water, rainwater collects and would run off the vehicle. Usually there's some kind of trim right here to separate the window from the little trough area, but I think it actually looks really, really cool. I mean, you only really see this whenever the trunk is open. My one criticism here at the back, there's no handle or grip to pull this trunk down and close. There's this massive latch, it's obviously not for your finger, but otherwise you've got to put your hand on the outside and get the paint all messed up, and what if your car is nice and clean? And of course, too, on the outside, you've got your blind spot monitoring system there in each of the side view mirrors. These mirrors are power folding and heated as well. Integrated kind of turning signals right there as well. Really nice job. These things fold super flat up against the side of the vehicle. Up top, just pretty much a standard sunroof there for you with the shark fin antenna out back. A really kind of short roof. It's not a terribly large roof, which is kind of good because that means there's got to be more glass, which means more visibility. Again, this isn't the top of the line at all, but at the end of the day, does everybody need top of the line? I know those are the most coveted pieces of machinery, but this 430i has a really nice look, and let's get inside and see what it looks like in there. So stepping inside this 430i Coupe, if you've been inside a 3 Series, then this should look familiar to you. They're nearly identical on the inside, which makes it easy if you're a BMW driver and you're getting another car here. Right up here in the center, you've got like a 5.1-inch gauge cluster display. Your gasoline levels over here. You've got your speedometer here in the center, your navigation over here, your tachometer with the temperature down below. Definitely a lot of information there for you. It's a little bit overwhelming if you're not used to all this information being thrown at you at one time. In the center here, let's get this back to home, is iDrive 7. It's BMW's latest infotainment driver assistance program here. Really simple to use. This is the 8.8-inch touchscreen. There is an optional upgradable 10.3-inch touchscreen, which is great. The 8.8 is nice. It's a little small, actually, even though this is a smaller kind of car, but it's really, really responsive, which is great. I mean, no matter what you push, it goes almost instantaneously. You can go from telephone back to home to media, pick your radio station, pick your Bluetooth. One of the coolest things I love is down here at the car under settings, you can actually go to change literally everything about the car. You can also control it with the classic BMW click wheel here, which is what I'm going to use. So let's go actually into doors and vehicle access. So many of the cars have this, but I just want to remind folks who might be new to BMW how customizable this car is. The tailgate you can open with a foot movement, your digital key. You can actually do that right on here as well. One of the coolest things, you can actually change and update and customize when you want the car to lock. Lock automatically, lock after starting to drive, unlock at the end of a long trip, turn off the vehicle after opening the door, flash when locking, unlocking. You can make this car beep, flash, lock, not lock whenever you want to, which is really kind of cool. Definitely makes it easier security-wise on your mind if you know your car is going to be locked when you want it to. You can also change this. Watch this, the interior lighting, which every BMW can do this as well. I suggest you take advantage of this if you buy one of these 4 Series. It's really tough to see right now because it's so bright outside, but changing the ambient color on the inside is so cool. You've got bronze, bronze and white, orange, orange and white, white, blue, blue and white, green, green and white, lilac, lilac and white. It goes on for all colors of the rainbow. It's awesome. Down here, pretty standard look. Again, looks very much like the 3 Series. You've got your dynamic driving modes over here, Sport, Comfort, Eco Pro. This is auto hold. This is your parking brake. Over here, this is the automatic start and stop. Whenever the car comes to a start and a stop, you can turn that on or off. Parking sensors. Right here, you've got your traction control. And over here, obviously, just the click wheel with all the different infotainment things for sound, for phones, all kinds of entertainment things, or infotainment things rather. Up here, multiple cup holders, and right up there, a wireless charging pad for iPhones, Androids, for phones that have that option. Right here, a USB charger. Inside this center console is a USB-C charger, I believe. Yep, right there. Just 2 in the car, which is kind of odd. I feel like there should be more than just 2. If there's another one that I can't find and I'm missing, then someone please correct me. I know there's actually more in the back, but up front there's only 1 USB charger, which is kind of odd, but neither here nor there at this point. The center here on this 430i Coupe has all your classic and well-known BMW buttons and layout. You've got your heated seat right here, all your different climate control options. It's dual climate zone right there for you and the passenger. Down here, just some more audio controls and different things for the audio system. This car does not have the upgraded Harman Kardon sound system. It does have kind of BMW's high premium option, which they say is enough. I've read about it from other reviewers as well. Not everyone is terribly pleased with it. I'm a big audio guy, and you can see kind of the speakers there. There's not too many. There's maybe like, I think 8 in this car. I'll have to check. I'll put the right number on the screen if I'm wrong. But it does sound decent. It's crisp, it's clear. There's a big speaker right there as well. Not the best sounding, not the best thumping thing you've ever heard in a BMW, but it does the trick. Up here at the steering wheel is one of the places where the interior of this car really shines. A nice thick steering wheel. It is heated as well. There's the button for it right there. All your typical kind of controls for your audio, for your phone, for voice recognition. Over here, you've got more of that for cruise control and other things as well. One of the cool things with iDrive 7 is you can say things like this. Hello, BMW.
Hi, what can I help you with?
Turn on heated steering wheel.
I've activated the steering wheel heating.
And now you can't tell through the camera, but the heating steering wheel has been turned on, and in a moment here it'll be nice and hot and ready to go. It's like 76 outside right now today, so we don't really need the heated steering wheel, so I'm going to turn that off. But that is voice recognition. You can tell the car to do a lot of things. Turn the station. You can tell the car to turn on your heated seat. All kinds of things, which is really kind of cool. Makes it easier to be hands-free and safe while you're driving. One of the things I forgot to touch on are the paddle shifters. They feel awesome. They're not metal, I don't think. They're really nicely designed. They feel confident. They feel nice and well made. They're not chintzy. I did not really test out the shifting or the paddle shifters as far as on a drive or anything, just because I'm not kind of a paddle shifter type of driver. I don't really care for manual cars. I know I'm not some crazy enthusiast, but they do feel nice. They're on either side, obviously, and to actually get over to that for the manual kind of driving, you've got to have your foot on the brake. You got to push in the side button here, go down to drive. That puts it in drive, and then you just go over to the left and then MS gets highlighted right there for you. So you're in drive, all you gotta do is move it over to MS, and then you can shift with the paddle shifter. See up there, it'll change it for you down at the bottom. Start off in manual 1, manual 2. Up top here, you've got kind of a frameless rear view mirror, which is awesome. No tacky big plastic frame or anything like that, which is nice. And up top, of course, a two-way power adjustable moonroof, sunroof, whatever you want to call it. I know there's a difference, but I don't care. There is the sunshade going back right now, and then of course one more flick and the actual roof itself opens. Not the largest thing in the world. I mean, it's kind of standard. It's not a panoramic at all. Look how kind of small it is. It does not go back to the exterior, or to the rear rather. So while we're here at the front of the car, right, I also want to talk about the steering wheel, which I mentioned briefly before. It is leather wrapped, 3-spoke sports steering wheel. Feels amazing in your hands. It is thick, it is brawny, it doesn't feel chintzy at all. But also up here in the front, you've got 10-way power adjustable driver and passenger seats. The driver's seat just has the extra 2 settings for memory over here on the side, but these seats are super comfortable. They're a little firm, they're a little, I don't want to say tough, but they are probably needing to be because this car is a little quick, right? It's got some nice overstated bolsters on the side here. They're not too bolstered that it's tough to get in the car. It's low enough anyway, you could just fall into the seats. But the leather is super nice. It's kind of like a cherry dark red almost in this particular car, but I love the way the seats feel. They're definitely firm. They're not squishy and ultra kind of conforming to your body. They're definitely sportier seats, but that's okay. I don't mind that. I think that BMW did the right thing with making these seats a little bit more firm. After all, you're in kind of a sportier car, right? But here in the center console, let's talk about this as well. Kind of a nice fake wood grain insert. It's kind of grayish, I guess, is the right color. Right here around the gear shifter, and then actually where the camera is sitting right now. That's where the hole where the cup holders and the wireless charging pad are. I do wish there wasn't so much black plastic up here on the dashboard and on the sides of the doors here. The leather, the red trim over here isn't really all that padded, especially where your arm would rest or your elbow would rest. The doors themselves are much more squishy, but the actual little rest where your hand would go isn't super comfortable. But again, if you've been inside of a 3 Series anytime recently, you've seen them online, you've driven one in person, you'll feel right at home in this 430i xDrive Coupe. And one more thing before we leave the front of the car here, just the crispness and the clarity of the colors on these screens is just awesome. I'm not sure if my eyes are just working better today than usual, but take a look at this. I mean, look how clear this gauge cluster looks. One of the other things that's really good to mention about this BMW 4 Series for 2021, across all models, they come standard with Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, as well as in-dash navigation, which is great. So BMWs are pretty safe anyway, right? But BMW has made extra attempts, I think, to make this car even more safe than usual. There are dual knee airbags for the driver and for the passenger. So you've got your side-mounted airbags, the standard airbags in all the normal places that every car these days has. Not every car has knee airbags, let alone 2 knee airbags, one for the driver and the passenger. One of the coolest quirks on this car that I love and makes it actually easier for tall people like me, watch this. Whenever you close the door, the seatbelt is brought to you via this nice power electric seatbelt holder, I guess you could call it. I'm not sure if other cars have this. It kind of reminds me of those 1990s Trax that the outside of like Fords had and stuff. Obviously much nicer and much more updated and not nearly as visually disgusting looking, but it's such a cool thing. So whenever you actually then put your seatbelt on, let's do it with the camera in my hand. We're gonna take this over the camera really nicely. When you put your seatbelt on then, all right, it retracts, which is perfect, right? And it actually retracts right back into its hole. You really can't tell that it moves at all until it does. I mean, it kind of just stays in its place all as one little piece. You don't even know that it's going to come out until it does. It's a nice little surprise. I didn't know it did this until I started the car once, or got into the car rather, opened up the door. It was a nice little surprise, but both sides do it. There's another one over there as well. So here in the back seat, it is a little bit tight, but again, it's not meant for really tall people for really long trips. you could probably be 6'1", 6'2", and just about stand 30 minutes back here on a trip before you get kind of cramped. But it is easy on either side to just grab those little levers, push forward or back depending on what you need to have happen, and the seat will automatically move and slide forward for you, which is great. There's no crazy reach around, no button where you have to push as the occupant of the car. The car will do all of it for you, which is great. And just latch again on that lever, pull on it, pull it back into place, and the seat will move itself back to where it was initially. You'll have to adjust kind of the knees per occupant, but at the end of the day, there is much more room back here than you would expect in a smaller kind of coupe. About 34.5 inches of space back here for leg room. These seats do fold down as well. Those little levers in the back of the trunk, like I showed you before, just pull on those, and these do go down for more hauling abilities. But how many people are hauling things with their 430i Coupe, right? One of the things I do appreciate back here, though, is that you do have your own kind of climate control. You've got auto control, you've got the heating, the cooling. You also have multiple USB-Cs, I think, to charge your phone or different devices. So I've got the car in sport mode. I'm stopped. I kind of want to see what it feels like. Ready? So let's give it a go. 3, 2, 1. Whoa! Woo! Really picks up a few seconds in. A little bit of turbo lag there. Again, a 4-cylinder car. Doesn't weigh a ton, but wow, some nice power, and what a brilliant growl this thing had. I think I scared some of those people in the business park that I just passed. Didn't push me all the way back in my seat, but the growl, I think, actually makes you feel like you might be going a little bit faster than you really are. I got to commend the control and the confidence and the stability this thing has on these backcountry roads. You can see at my window, there's corn right there. And this thing is just kind of soaking up and really hugging all these corners. Oh, awesomely. Wow. I've never felt more supremely planted to the ground in my life. It really feels great. I've driven all-wheel drive cars before. That being said, I've never driven one that is this in control, I guess is the word to describe it. No matter whether you're going around a corner at 15 or 40 or 50 miles an hour, the car feels like it'll take whatever you want. Now, the criticism on this 2021 4 Series from a lot of critics is that there's a lack of steering wheel feedback. It kind of feels numb. The driver is insulated, or isolated rather, from the road. I'm not that kind of grand tourer type of driver. If you're buying a $54,000 BMW and you live in the middle of Pennsylvania like I live, I don't really know if you care that it can climb mountains or go through mountain passes super fast, because at the end of the day, you're going to be driving it to and from work, maybe on a weekend trip, maybe on a long vacation or something. But these crazy critics who just think that, you know, every car is going to be the next grand tourer, I think this car feels great around corners. Here's a corner actually right now. Let's see what it feels like. I'm going to go through it at about 45 miles an hour. God, it just pulls you right through. It's so smooth. This has an 8-speed automatic transmission, by the way, as well. This 4-cylinder turbo pumping out of what, 255 horsepower, I think is what I said earlier. It actually has tons of confidence about it, which is great because you as the driver then automatically feel confident as well, right? And the brakes, let's hit the brakes here. Ventilated disc brakes all the way around. They feel great. They grip not as fast as I might have wanted, which is weird. Either my shoe feels odd or they don't grip as well as I had anticipated. They still feel nice. They're very smooth from a nice, hard, fast stop, but they're not as gripping. They don't grip as well as I thought they might. There's a lot more play also, a lot more travel to get the car to stop exactly in line with what you think it would. So as we are driving, let's talk about some of the standard safety features in this thing. Standard automatic emergency braking, pedestrian detection, standard lane departure warning, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control with semi-autonomous driving. A lot of those are standard across all 4 Series trims and models, no matter if you get the 430i Coupe, 430i convertible, which, by the way, the convertibles of the 4 Series are not going to be available, I'm told, until next year. So maybe the spring of 2021. That was just my microphone box making noise. That's great. Actually, right now too, I have the steering wheel feedback on strong. It's one of the settings you can set in iDrive, and whenever you depart from the lane or kind of go out of your lane a little bit, the steering wheel shakes and vibrates at you. You can set that to light, medium, or strong. I have it on strong right now to see how strong it is. It feels really decent. It definitely lets you know, hey dude, you're going out of the lanes. But again, I was trying to take those corners kind of quick. That's kind of why I did that. Let's go again. Ready? Whoa! Yeah, buddy. All right, if you opt for the higher priced M440i or just the 440i in general, you've got more power obviously, but on the M version, you've got the upgraded suspension, the new tuning, better wheels, better brakes, all around M stuff, which is great. So I'm sure that's even more fun to drive than this thing is. Over bumps, it kind of soaks up imperfections really, really well. It's not terribly lofty and kind of like airy. It's not a cushiony ride at all, but it doesn't thunk over the bumps and imperfections in the road either. It's a really nice kind of feel. Definitely more firm if on the scale of firm to soft. It's definitely closer to firm, but it's not rough, and it's actually kind of quiet too, despite the large 19-inch rims that are on this thing. My only complaints driving it is I'm a little bit low in the car. I'm a tall guy, so I've got to have the seat down as low as possible to make sure I've got enough headroom, which isn't the best thing for a car of this price. But at the end of the day, you are getting a really, really nice German sports car out of it, right? So again, I think BMW's done a really great job of combining luxury, performance, and price point into a car that is now attainable for the everyday kind of driver, the non-super rich person, right? So that is a nice wrap-up of the 2021 BMW 430i xDrive Coupe. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel below. Let us know if the kidney grills are a deal breaker for you, and we will see you all next time.